The Krellian combat arena stretched 300 meters in diameter, its obsidian floors polished to mirror perfection. Holographic advertisements flickered along the curved walls, promising glory to those brave enough to enter the proving grounds. Grace stood at the center, her boots planted firmly as 7 alien warriors circled her like predators sizing up wounded prey. "Last warning," Grace said, her voice cutting through the jeers of the crowd. "Touch me once more and you won't like what happens." The largest of the Krellians, a hulking creature with 4 arms and chitinous armor plating, threw back his head and laughed. The sound echoed through the arena like grinding metal. His companions joined in, their mocking laughter rising to meet the roar of 10,000 spectators packed into the towering seats above. "The human makes jokes," the leader bellowed, his translator implant rendering his words in a dozen languages simultaneously. "She threatens us. Did you hear, brothers? This soft-skinned mammal thinks she can—" He reached out with one massive claw, intending to shove her shoulder in contempt. Grace moved. Her hand intercepted his wrist mid-motion, fingers wrapping around the joint with precision that made several observers gasp. The Krellian's eyes widened, first in surprise, then in pain as Grace twisted, using his own momentum against him. There was a sickening crack as the joint dislocated, and the warrior's roar of fury turned into a shriek of agony. "I warned you," Grace said quietly. From the VIP observation deck, Ezra leaned forward in his seat, a slight smile playing at his lips. The Galactic Coalition ambassador beside him shifted uncomfortably. "Your associate seems to be in difficulty," the ambassador said, his 3 eye stalks swiveling nervously. "Perhaps we should intervene before—" "Before what?" Ezra interrupted, his tone conversational. "Before she embarrasses your champions? I think that ship has sailed." Below, the arena had erupted into chaos. The 6 remaining Krellians rushed Grace simultaneously, abandoning any pretense of honor or sport. They were warriors of a species that had conquered 47 star systems through sheer brutality. They had crushed rebellions, broken armies, and earned their reputation as the Coalition's most feared soldiers. Grace became a blur of motion. She ducked under a swing that would have decapitated her, drove her elbow into an exposed throat, and used the falling body as a springboard to launch herself at another attacker. Her knee connected with a face at terminal velocity, teeth scattered across the obsidian floor like dice. "Impossible," the ambassador whispered. "Her species is classified as Class 3 physical threat level. These are Class 7 warriors. The mathematics don't—" "Your mathematics are wrong," Ezra said simply. "You measured us at rest. You measured us comfortable. You measured us in peacetime." He gestured at the arena. "You've never seen what happens when you push a human past their limits." Grace caught a descending blade between her palms, twisted it free, and sent it spinning into its owner's leg. Another Krellian grabbed her from behind, all 4 arms attempting to crush her in a bear hug. Grace threw her head back, shattering his nose, then dropped her weight suddenly and flipped the massive warrior over her shoulder. He crashed into 2 of his companions with bone-breaking force, 3 down, 4 still mobile. "She's not even using weapons," Ezra continued, his voice carrying a note of pride. "You see, that's the thing about humans. We evolved as persistence hunters on a death world. We didn't have armor plating or multiple hearts or regenerative capabilities. We just had one thing: we don't stop." The lead Krellian, his dislocated arm hanging uselessly, pulled a plasma pistol from his belt with his remaining functional hand. The crowd gasped. Weapons beyond fists were forbidden in the proving grounds. But pain and humiliation had driven him beyond caring about rules. He aimed at Grace's back. She spun, recognized the threat, and moved faster than the eye could track. The plasma bolt carved through empty air where she'd been standing. Grace closed the distance in 3 strides, drove her fist into his solar plexus with enough force to crack chitin, and as he doubled over, brought her knee up to meet his descending face. The Krellian leader collapsed like a puppet with cut strings. The remaining 3 warriors looked at each other, then at their fallen companions, then at the small human woman standing calmly in the center of the carnage. She wasn't even breathing hard. As one, they turned and ran for the exit. The arena fell silent. 10,000 spectators sat in stunned disbelief, unable to process what they'd just witnessed. The holographic advertisements had stopped mid-loop, frozen on images of Krellian superiority and martial prowess. Ezra stood, straightening his jacket as he prepared to leave the observation deck. The ambassador remained frozen in his seat, all three eye stalks fixed on the arena below. How? The ambassador finally managed. How did one human do this? Ezra paused at the doorway, glancing back with a smile that didn't quite reach his eyes. You made 3 mistakes today, Ambassador. First, you assumed physical size determines combat effectiveness. Second, you thought your warriors' experience fighting each other prepared them for fighting us. He turned to leave. And third, most critically, you touched Grace after she warned you not to. But the entire coalition needs to know about this, the ambassador stammered. If humans are this dangerous, oh, they already know, Ezra said. Why do you think Earth was offered full membership after just 2 years of contact? Why do you think no one ever pushes too hard in negotiations? He gestured at the empty arena, empty except for Grace, who was helping the medics load the injured warriors onto stretchers. Because every species in the coalition has an arena like this, and every single one of them has learned the same lesson you learned today. The ambassador's translator struggled to capture the Earth idiom that Ezra used next, settling on the closest approximation. Don't start what you can't finish. Grace looked up at the observation deck, caught Ezra's eye, and shrugged as if to say, I did warn them. Ezra nodded back, then disappeared through the doorway, leaving the ambassador to contemplate the implications of a species that could do that without even breaking a sweat. The human delegation's shuttle would be ready in an hour. By then, news of what happened in the arena would have spread across 100 worlds. The Krellians would recover from their injuries. Their pride would take considerably longer to heal. And in diplomatic circles across the galaxy, a new understanding would take root. When a human gives you a warning, you should probably listen.